Hey Sam, we're going to be cleaning that tank a little later today. Make sure it's empty, will you?
Sure thing, Mike.
For Sam and Mike and thousands of other workers, permit-required confined spaces present serious on-the-job risks. These spaces can be extremely dangerous places. Permit-required confined spaces aren't limited to tanks like the one Sam is working on. They include spaces in a wide variety of industries, including yours. Spaces such as manholes, rail cars, storage bins, grain elevators, pits, mixing tanks, sewers, pipelines, holding tanks, boilers, and vats. Whatever the industry or type of space, there is one common element that these spaces share. They can be extremely dangerous. So dangerous that the Occupational Safety and Health Administration, or OSHA, has regulations in place to protect workers like you.
The OSHA regulation that refers to confined space entries is OSHA 1910.146. And the overview of it is it requires the company that has confined spaces on their property to go through and evaluate the hazards of that confined space. And then it also requires them to make sure that anybody enters that confined space for whatever reason to do work or for rescue are properly trained and understand the hazards that they may encounter in that confined space.
The biggest thing about confined spaces are the conditions within them can change so rapidly that a person a lot of times does not even have a chance to respond.
Training is really the key, and it starts at day one when they come in, and it doesn't stop, it continues.
OSHA defines a confined space as one that is not designed for continuous occupancy, that is large enough for an employee to bodily enter and perform assigned work, and that has limited or restricted means of entry or exit. No doubt there are a variety of spaces in your workplace that meet these criteria. However, your workplace also contains permit-required confined spaces. These are the types of confined spaces that OSHA regulations specifically address because they have one or more of the following characteristics. They contain or have the potential to contain a hazardous atmosphere. They contain material with the potential to engulf an employee who enters. They have inwardly converging walls or a downward sloping floor to a smaller cross-section that could asphyxiate or trap an employee. Or they contain any other recognized serious safety or health hazard. Who identifies the permit-required confined spaces in your workplace? When a space meets OSHA's definition of a permit-required confined space, your employer must inform you of its existence, location, and hazard. This is typically done by posting warning signs like this one, and through required training for affected employees. If employees are not to enter these spaces, your company must provide an effective means to prevent entry, like a lock. If you or other employees will enter a permit-required confined space, then your employer must establish a written permit-required confined space program and train affected employees on its use. We'll see a system such as this in action a little later. But first, let's revisit Sam.